YouTube, how's it going? It is your boy Jay Lives here, bringing you guys a brand new video here on the channel. Now, I'm currently recording this video on the Thursday, and by the time you guys are going to be seeing this video, will be the beginning of the 2021-22 Premier League season. I know, another year of Premier League has come and gone. Honestly, last year, I feel like I did pretty damn good with my predictions, with the terms of getting the team spot on correctly. And now it's time to do it all over again. So, if you guys like this video, leave a like if you enjoyed, and make sure you guys sub to if you are new to the channel. And with that being said, here we go. So, relegation battle. 20th place, I got Norwich City. There are some teams out there that they immediately get promoted to the Premier League and they just immediately go straight back down. I think Norwich is going to be one of those teams. Even though they have signed Lias Melu, I believe they've actually just signed Josh Sargent from, I believe, Werder Bremen. So that was a good signing on them. They've also brought in Billy Gilmore on a loan spell, who last season Billy Gilmore did very, very well when he was playing for Chelsea. But now he's going to be getting a lot more game time. But unfortunately, I just don't see Norwich surviving. So I got them down in 20th. Alongside Brentford, I know, controversial. They've just signed Yohan Wissa, I believe, the Republic of Congo winger. I could be very wrong about that. But what I do know is that they have just signed Frank Onyeka. They still have the likes of Ivan Toney, who was bagging in all the goals for Brentford through their promotion spell. Well, their promotion campaign from the Championship to the Premier League. But again, I think it's going to be one of those teams where you get it up to the Premier League, you're just going to go right back down. So, 18th, Southampton. Now, originally, I had them at kind of like the bottom half of the table. 15th, 16th, I want to say. Now I'm even more confident in my decision that they are going to get relegated. Because they've just lost... Well, they haven't just lost. They've lost Danny Ings for like $30 million to Aston Villa. Who are they going to put their trust into? Nathan Redmond? Well, I mean, they've also got Che Adams, so I shouldn't be too, brutal on them. They're rumored to be losing James Ward-Prowse also to Aston Villa. And they've also just lost Yannick Vestergaard, who's on his way to Leicester City to replace Wesley Fofana, who, by the way, prayers for speedy recovery to Wesley Fofana himself. I think it was in a preseason friendly. The man snapped his ACL. He's going to be out for the next couple of months. So, prayers and speedy recovery to Wesley Fofana himself. But Southampton, they're unfortunately going to be going down. Because the caliber of players that they've lost their main goal scorer. They're maybe going to be losing their best creative midfield option. And they're going to be losing another center back. So that's just a recipe for disaster, as I see things. 17th, the team just barely surviving their season back in the Premier League is actually going to be Watford. Watford and the Premier League. If you guys remember back in 2013, 2014, when Gianfranco Zola was taking over Watford, I believe it was him at the time. Unfortunately, they were... we all remember that infamous moment with Watford where I think it was Fernando Forestieri was running up the other end of the pitch after the goalkeeper, Ricardo Almunia, made two incredible penalty saves. Leicester fans, they're currently looking away from this video as we speak. They run up the other end of the pitch, headed down by Jonathan Hogg, and Troy Deeney absolutely wangs that one into the back of the net to send Watford to Wembley, where I think they actually got promoted that season. If they can do another stint like that again, I will be very surprised. They still got hold with the likes of Ismail Assar, so I feel like that's going to be the crucial part of them staying up in the Premier League. 16th, I have Brighton. Brighton and Hove Albion, I got them in the 16th spot. Again, one of those teams that's just used to being bottom half of the table. They've brought in the likes of Enoch Mwepu from, I believe, RB Salzburg, so that was a very good signing on them. And I always like the idea and the philosophy that Graham Potter has with Brighton. They've still got the likes of Neil Maupay and I believe Florian Andone. They have unfortunately lost Alireza Jahanbakhsh on a free to, I believe, the Turkish league. So, but they've also kept on to their main, well, one of their main guys anyway, in Leandro Trossard. So, I feel like that's going to be a very crucial season for them. 15th, Crystal Palace. I know, big prediction here. Now that Roy Hodgson has unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, he did retire. I'm gonna miss him, but can Patrick Vieira do the job for Crystal Palace? And they've done a very good job in the transfer window itself, bringing in the likes of Mark Guehi from, I believe it was Chelsea, Joachim Andersen from Lyon. They've still kept hold of their top gun in Wilfried Zaha, but I think it's only a matter of time before he leaves the club to bigger and better things, because Wilfried Zaha is too good for Crystal Palace. That's just my opinion. But yeah, Crystal Palace, 15th. You're staying up again. 14th, I got Burnley. Again, Burnley is just one of those teams where they're very used to the bottom half of the table. It's just one of those sides where they always know how to stay up in the situations that matter. So, simply put, that's why I have Burnley in 14th. 13th, I have Newcastle United. They've just made the loan deal of, I believe, Joe Willock, permanent, for £21 million. Good bit of business by them. But other than that, I'm very shocked to see that they haven't done any more business. But do they really need to? With the players that they have, with the likes of Valence Maximin, John-Joe Shelvey, Martin Dubravka. Dubravka's a very good goalkeeper, by the way. I got Newcastle a little bit higher up the table where I believe they were last year. So, Newcastle, you're in 13th. 12th place is going to be the team who surprised all of us, West Ham. Now, if you guys have watched my prediction video from last year, you would have seen that I had them being relegated. Nobody expected them to be getting European football. Not me, especially. But, yeah. I honestly think it was all because of Jesse Lingard. I know, big claim coming from me. But, honestly, can we all give a major round of applause to West Ham for surprising all of us? Including me, because nobody expected West Ham to be getting European football. But this is where it's truly the test for West Ham. Honestly, they're not really going to go far in the Europa League. They've lost one of their crucial center backs in, I believe, Fabian Balbuena. It's a very, very paper-thin squad they have. And if they lose one of their big players in Declan Rice, that could be all but over for them. But I believe that West Ham are going to do a very, very good job in the Premier League. European football, I don't think they're going to get it back again, but they will finish in 12th position. That's where I see them ending up. 11th, Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves, always one of those sides that stay up in the Premier League no matter what happens. They brought in Francisco Trincao on a loan deal. And they're especially going to be back to full strength now that they've got Raul Jimenez back in the starting 11, where, if you guys did forget, the man had a concussion up against Arsenal that kind of left him out for the rest of the season. So, now that Raul Jimenez is coming back, I think that Wolves are really going to turn it up a notch. So, Wolves in 11th place. Smack mid-table, Aston Villa. I know, shocking. let's talk about Aston Villa for a second. They've signed Leon Bailey, Danny Ings, Emiliano Buendia, before they made that £100 million transfer of Jack Grealish. If that isn't good business, then I don't know what is. The fact that they made all those signings, I think, before making that big money move for Jack Grealish, it just shows that someone like a Dean Smith can definitely take over a club like Aston Villa. Are they ready for European competition? I don't know. Maybe if they bring in another center back for someone of the likes of Tyrone Mings. Not to technically replace him, but someone that can kind of be backup for him. Because I know with the likes of Bjorn Engels, he's out on loan to Belgium. So that's going to be a bit of an issue in itself. But I could see Aston Villa, if not 10th, definitely fighting for that European spot. It's either one way or the other, and we'll see which way it goes. 9th place, Leeds United. Leeds United is a team that I have a little bit of a soft spot for, even though I'm a Man U fan, but we won't talk about that. It's because of the philosophy that is ran by Marcelo Bielsa. The way that he runs his team is well-oiled. The season that Patrick Bamford had, especially last season, I genuinely felt that he deserved a spot on the Euro team. But he wasn't. And I'm hoping with the likes of Rafinha can definitely step up nowadays. And they've just brought in Junior Firpo for like $13.5 million, which was very good business from them. But yeah, I think they're going to have a very, very strong season. So, yeah, Leeds, they're in 9th. 8th place, we got Everton. Bit of a controversial move in terms of their manager, Carlo Ancelotti, going back to Real Madrid. And this is where it gets controversial. They've brought back Rafa Benitez. If you guys don't know, Benitez, former manager of Newcastle, he was managing out his time, I believe, in China. But he was also the manager of the Red Side of Merseyside. So, again, that's going to be a bit controversial for some teams. But the start that Everton had last season was very, very strong from them. But the team that they have right now, I don't think it's going to be enough to get any piece of European football. But crazier things have happened. And now we get into the top 7. These 7 teams will be playing in the European competition, whether it's the Europa Conference League, the Europa League itself, or the Champions League. And the team in 7th that will be getting that European Conference spot will be Tottenham. Shocking, considering the fact that Harry Kane could be on his way out to Man City. And if Man City get Harry Kane and Jack Grealish, they will be very, very good title contenders. That's just my opinion. But if they keep hold of Harry Kane, they could probably find themselves in a top 4 spot. They've just tied down Heung-min Son to a brand new contract. And honestly, I could see Spurs getting another year of some sort of European competition. So that's why I have Spurs in 7th. 6th place. Big, ballsy decision coming up here. I got Arsenal finishing above them. Now, the reason I have that is pretty damn simple. They've got no European competition this year. They've brought in the likes of Ben White for $50 million from Brighton. They've brought in the likes of Sambi Lokonga. They've brought in Nuno Tavares to play as a backup for Kieran Tierney. That could be the squad to clinch them European football. if they can bring in like a new attacking mid, someone like a James Madison, maybe even bring back Martin Odegaard, I could see them in a very, very high spot. But for now, I got them in 6th. 5th place, finishing above them. I would hate it if Leicester City finished up in 5th for a 3rd year running. Because the last 2 years, they've done everything they can to get Champions League football, and they've just keep slipping up. It's unfortunate for Leicester City. It's very, very unfortunate for them. Because you've got the likes of Jamie Vardy. They've brought in the likes of Ryan Bertrand on a free. They've brought in Patson Daka. If you guys don't know Patson Daka, he's an incredible FIFA talent. As well as Boubakary Soumaré from Los Lille, who won the league last year. And that's another theory that I like about Los Lille. They buy players for cheap, they train them up to be incredible players, and then they sell them on for a massive profit. Which, honestly, fair play to Los Lille for winning the league, overtaking PSG. Which PSG is in a whole other situation in itself. But back to Leicester City, I think it's not going to be enough. I mean, they are bringing in Yannick Vestergaard. But they've also lost one of their best young center backs in Wesley Fofana. So, how that's going to end up, I see Leicester coming in 5th. And now, the top 4. This is where I went back and forth with myself. Who's going to take that coveted 4th place position? It's going to be the team that just recently won the Champions League. Chelsea. Now, you're probably wondering, Judge, well, why do you have them in 4th place so much? I mean, they've just won the Champions League. They've just recently won the UEFA Super Cup. Well, why do you have them in 4th? Honestly, the defensive position is kind of what worries me. Because, yes, they have the likes of Thiago Silva, but if someone like Antonio Rudiger goes down with an injury, are you really going to be able to put your trust into Andreas Christensen? I don't think so. I mean, just today, they recently announced the return of Romelu Lukaku. £115 million? 115 million? Hello? I mean, he was bagging him in for Inter Milan, I think in like 70 Serie A. No, not 70. I think like 70-odd games he scored like 40 goals. Which, I mean, fair enough to Big Rom for getting into the position that he was. Unfortunately, back then he wasn't good enough. Now, he's arguably Belgium's best player. Well, you could debate that with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. You could debate that with the likes of probably Tielemans in that case. But I don't think the squad that they, even with that big money signing of Romelu Lukaku, I don't think it's going to be enough for them. That's just my opinion. Or, I mean, they could shock us all and win the Premier League. Imagine they do that. That'd be crazy. But, I don't know. 3rd place, Liverpool. Probably wondering, why do you have him in 3rd? Again, simply put, I don't think, even with Virgil van Dijk coming back from injuries, they were just injury prone last season. Unfortunately, with them losing out Virgil van Dijk for X amount of time, they lost. It was a lot of injuries that kept them back. And I don't want that to happen to them. Well, I don't think anybody does. But I don't think it's going to be injuries. It's just going to be the results that aren't really going to have them set to where they want to be at. So, I have Liverpool in 3rd. Which leaves us to 2 final clubs. Both from Manchester. One of them is finishing 2nd. One of them is finishing the champion of the Prem. Who do I have coming in 2nd? My club. Man United. We've signed the likes of Jadon Sancho. I believe in the next couple of days, Rafael Varane, he's going to be announced to us. And I've also been seeing that after the Varane signing, that's it. We're not making any more. Which, to be fair, I can understand, but you're risking out on Paul Pogba leaving on a free. That's honestly my only issue with that. You're losing out on some of your best players on free deals. De Gea is rumored to get the nod in Friday's game against Leeds, where I would have loved for it to have been Dean Henderson. I know it's a derby. You got to have your best team out there. Rashford, unfortunately, sidelined with an injury. He just underwent surgery. He may be back in October, something like that. So it's going to be a rough couple of weeks there. But I don't think that even with Jadon Sancho and even with Rafael Varane, I don't think we are title ready. We could go on a title charge if we bring in somebody for Paul Pogba, but that is Ollie's decision to make. And of course, that leaves us your Premier League champion for 2021-2022, Man City. The squad that they have. Jack Grealish coming in. Raheem Sterling. Bernardo Silva, who's actually rumored to move away to Atletico, something like that. Riyad Mahrez. Gabby Jesus. Jesus isn't really a striker. Yes, he will get you 10, 15 goals a season, but he's not truly the striker that they need. Of course, you got the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. You got the likes of Ilkay Gundogan, who played an incredible season. You got Ruben Diaz, who, if it wasn't for Virgil van Dijk's injury, if it wasn't for Virgil van Dijk getting himself injured, Ruben Diaz was the best playing defender in the Premier League last season. Could he do it again this season for Man City? I personally love to see that, but we'll see what happens. And on that note, that's going to do it for this year of predictions. Again, I'm recording this on the Thursday. You guys are going to be seeing this the day of the first game of the Premier League season. So I'm thinking about 2:30, 3 p.m. my time. So keep your eyes out on the noties for that. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, sub if you're new. And until next time, peace.